everybody. Welcome back once again to the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. I'm your host, Gene Jackson, and as always, it is my pleasure to welcome my co-hosts, Josh Briley and Richard Mulliken of P3 Radio.
Woo! What's up,
there
man?
They are, guys. Back like you remember them, folks, in the same box. Like
all
God
bright
intended.
and chubby. Well, you're bright. I'm mildly bright.
Yeah, same thing your teacher said about you.
I don't have the daylight on my side right now.
Yeah, so a little bit of insight here. This is our first time ever recording at night. We have always recorded these during the day. And while you will be seeing or hearing this after this Memphis Hall of Fame shindig, spoiler alert, we're actually recording this the night before. So it hasn't happened yet. So if you're wondering, like, well, why didn't they talk about, whatever crazy is probably going to happen tomorrow? Like, why didn't they talk about whenever, Dirty White Boy reenacted the hanging of Tom Pritchard off the side of the stage? Well, it's because technically it hasn't happened yet. So we'll have to talk about whatever shenanigans happen next week if Doug and Tommy attack PG-13 and beat him over the head with a hubcap, or, who knows if Jerry Lawler pile drives Bill Dundee on stage or vice versa. There's no telling what's going to happen tomorrow night, but we'll have to talk about it next week because so far it hasn't actually happened. But we have a lot to cover here in this show. I thought this was going to be kind of a slow show, and in some ways it is, but there's a few things. We've got some new faces and some old faces returning. Corey lets us know that, and by the way, before I get too far ahead of myself, we are talking about the April 24th, 1993 episode of USWA Championship Wrestling. And guys, that makes this episode 19.
Oh,
19 weeks of this show. That's pretty.
We getting on up there.
we
are. We all up in 1993, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So, Corey lets us know that we're going to see the debut of Bill and Steve Marino, who are known as the Young Stallions. They've robbed their name from Paul Roma and Jimmy Powers.
Yeah.
So that should tell you a lot about what you need to know there. And they are going to be taking on Scotty Flamingo and the king of rock and roll himself, Doug Gilbert. Plus, we'll see the USWA Tag Team Champions, Simply Divine, Rex King, and Steve Dahl are going to be in action. And, guys, right here on the show, in the studio, Brian Christopher takes on Jeff Jarrett. So, wow, we've got a lot happening today. So, we kick things off with Dave Brown having a word with these young stallions, and it's pretty clear that promos aren't their strong suit. We'll have to hope that they're really good in the ring to make up for it. Well, let's take a quick sample of both, and you guys, you can be the judge on whether their strong suit is promos, in-ring, maybe neither one.
Hey, joining me right now, the Young Stallions. Thank you guys for coming by here, Bill and Steve Marino, and we're glad to have you in the USWA. Your reputation has preceded you, and sounds good.
Yeah, we're tickled to be here because this is where the hotbed of wrestling's at and where the toughest competition is. And me and my brother want to come down here and prove to people what we could do here.
Well, very good. We're glad to have you here, and there are a couple of teams around. We could sure use your help. So we're looking forward to seeing you in action up here today and at other times, too.
Yeah, like you said, there's tough competition down here, and we come down here planning on doing some big things and getting some title shots and hopefully get some belts around our waist before it's over with.
All right, very good. Well, now your competition in here includes people like PG-13. You know anything about PG-13?
Not a whole lot. We don't know them personally, but we hear a lot of rumors through the countryside about them. They like to beat up women and slap women around. And, a couple little punks, that really can't wrestle. They've been hitting people over the head with a hubcap. I've been hearing, been watching on the television, and it kind of makes me sick to even watch them.
Well, I think you've got, speaking of PG-13, here they are. Now, Jay, come on, you guys. This is their interview time.
I don't care who's interview. What's up with Sheila, the Wonder Horse, and Cowboy Bob, man? What's up with you guys calling us punks? But you don't know me from Adam, sucker. I'll slap that cowboy hat right off your head, redneck.
Marino head right in here. There's a referee coming in there. Referee Kevin Christian is there. Oh, look at this. PG-13 sending Marino. Look at him duck under that.
Yeah.
And a good drop kick.
Yeah, big double kick from the Marinos. Bill and Steve And look at him go to work on PG-13, and all of a sudden, there goes J.C. Ice and Sir Wolfie D out of here quickly.
I feel like these guys may have went to the Jumpin' Jeff Farmer School of Promos.
One of them did.
At least one of them did. I didn't clip the part where Wolfie asked them about their last names and then said he's never heard of Italian cowboys. That actually was a pretty fun line there and pretty true. But PG-13 challenges them to get in the ring, and oh my God, that double whip into the drop kick spot got fucked up 9 ways from Sunday. Not a great first impression so far. What are you guys thinking?
Well, I've never seen a karate cowboy. He had that spin kick going down. It looked like he screwed up the double drop kick. Or what was the other one where you said? You said something about where he backdropped. Which one was it?
Yeah, well, see, it was supposed to be, from what I could tell, it was supposed to be a double whip into a double drop kick into then a double backdrop. But the one guy bumped into him, so his drop kick turned into an impromptu, I guess, almost super kick, like the karate kick you were referring to, which then threw the timing off on the double backdrop. So Wolfie gets backdropped, and he lands funky, and so then Jamie gets backdropped on top of Wolfie, and his foot looks like it came right down in Wolfie's crotch.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure when they powdered out, it wasn't like, oh, no, we don't want no more. It was like, fuck working with these guys. Where did you find these two? Jesus.
That one feller's a mute.
Yeah. I asked Richard when we were watching the clip, I said, does he have COVID? He's standing up. Dave, I don't want to get you infected.
He's like halfway out of the camera shot.
Even Dave didn't know what to say to these two because he's like, we're looking forward to seeing y'all there and other places. And then he's like looking like, is one of y'all going to talk? And that same one's like, yep, I reckon we're happy to be here. We've been hearing rumors through the countryside. These PG-13, they like to beat up on women. And like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, take it easy. That makes them sound a little worse than, it's just Miss Texas.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I kind of agreed with PG-13 when they came out. You don't know us. Apparently you don't even know each other because you're standing so far apart like strangers at a bus stop. like I kind of agreed with them, and they got kind of a baby face pop when they came out too. The few fans were happy to see them. The ones that were still awake from that interview.
Yeah, that's one of the rough. I'd say that's probably one of the roughest promos we've seen in our 19 weeks of the USWA podcast. Maybe I'm forgetting one, but
it was one of the ones that stood out that they just disregarded the camera. I mean, he was looking. Dave was the focal point, not I'm going to look at the camera and talk to the people.
Yeah, and it completely threw Dave for a loop. It was like I said, he was like out of sorts. He was looking at the one, looking at the other, and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to see y'all down there Monday night, and we're looking forward to seeing you there." And other places. Okay. And he's thinking like, where the hell's PG-13? Like I've never wanted PG-13 to come out so bad as I do right now.
Right.
But these guys are going to get a chance to redeem themselves because at our opening bout today, match number 1, Scotty Flamingo and the King of Rock and Roll, Doug Gilbert, taking on the Young Stallions, Bill and Steve Marino. And I feel like these guys should have been getting a cease and desist letter from Dan Marino just any day back then. Doug's rocking his new King of Rock and Roll tights with records up and down the side. And this was a decent little tag match. Doug and Scotty drug a pretty good match out of these guys compared to what I was expecting based on that first little exchange with PG-13 there. But they're clearly, the Marinos are getting their first shot at working TV. From what I understand, there are a couple of outlaw guys from Kentucky. But true to our usual formula here on USWA, just as it looked like the Marinos had things well in hand, PG-13 hit the ring for the disqualification, and all 4 of the bad guys beat down the Marinos. And I guess since the Marinos are new here, they haven't made any friends in the babyface locker room because nobody comes out to help these guys. So the heels just beat them until they get bored with it.
They're begging Corey and Dave to come back. Please use a chair.
Would you want to be associated with what you just heard and saw?
No, they're like, Scotty and Doug are just like, hey, man, let's go. PG-13 go back to the desk.
Man, my
They
arm.
cut a promo. And then here come the Wild Stallions or whatever their name is. They run over and attack Jamie and Wolfie. And thankfully, we go into a break. So, I mean, these guys are pretty badass. They just took a 4-on-2 beatdown and still made a comeback and attacked PG-13. So
5-on-2 if you count that big hog of Scotty Flamingos.
that's true. More on that later. Don't worry, BT. As we return from break, Eddie Marlin's telling us that the big moon dog, I'm guessing Marlin never bothered to learn his name. Probably just as well. Dave for weeks did not learn the name of Nelson Knight. He just kept saying the bigger of the Harlem Knights each week when he would talk about them. But, the big moon dog has been injured, which in USWA is code for he got mad and walked out over shitty pay. So he lets us know that tonight in Jonesboro, instead of the scheduled Moondogs versus Simply Divine match, it will now be Moondog Spot, Jerry Lawler, and Miss Texas taking on Rex King, Steve Dahl, and Sensational Sherri Martel. I'd say that's an upgrade, don't you guys? I mean, screw Big Moondog. We're coming out ahead on this one.
Yeah, man. Sensational Sherri, dude. She excels when she is here because it was really hard to really get her in the spotlight and keep her in WWF because there's so much talent up there. But someplace like here in Memphis, man, they gave her all kind of camera time, and I'm liking everything that they've got going. Her and Macho Man got back together. It's only going up for Sensational Sherri.
Since last week's episode dropped on Wednesday, I've gotten a lot of messages in the inbox over on the Facebook page of a lot of people kind of echoing the same sentiments we all did about how awesome it was to see Savage and Sherri back together again here in Memphis in '93. So I'm glad we're not the only ones. That a lot of people was happy to see them back together, and I think they still, they probably had some mileage to have another run in WWF. But if at least we're seeing it here, and we'll stick around. We'll see what Sherri's going to be up to here shortly. But from there, Corey Macklin runs down the action coming to all the towns around the area, including Keyser, Arkansas. Lawler then comes out for a promo and takes a moment to dunk on Corey, letting him know that it might be pronounced Kaiser, Corey. My wife was watching this with me. As soon as he said it, she's like, there's a place called Keyser, Arkansas. I'm like, no, Corey just don't know how to say Kaiser. And then here comes Lawler. Lawler then goes on to say that this may be the largest studio crowd they've ever had. And once he mentioned it and they panned across there, he was right. There was a lot more people crammed into that studio than what we usually had. I don't know what, maybe it's because they heard Macho Man's been popping up lately. I don't know. But of course, then we get down to the real business of the day, guys. And that's to discuss this week's softball games, including the mention of Brian Christopher's softball teams, Brian's Bombers. And then they promote Jonesboro while continuing to shit on Sherri Martel in the process. Boy, Lawler digs deep into the old school joke book whenever he gets to cracking on Sherri. It's like fucking Rodney Dangerfield just shows up all of a sudden. I'll tell you, this Sherri was. She can't get a date on her tombstone. It's something. So then we go to a commercial break and include. I don't know if you guys watch these commercials or you fast forward, but this commercial break included a commercial for the Karate Classic movie Sidekicks featuring Chuck Norris and, more importantly, Joe Piscopo as the lead heel in the John Kreese evil sensei role.
I love that movie, dude. I loved it.
Kid had asthma.
They don't make them like that anymore. That just really caught my eye. I vaguely remember that movie, but as soon as I seen Joe Piscopo on my screen, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
He was a main heel in that Hogan movie from around this time too, correct? Mr. So. Nanny or some shit.
I believe so. Yeah, he went from being Frank Sinatra on Saturday Night Live to freaking the top bad guy in B movies. C movies. We might be going, Chuck Norris is in it. They at least bring it to a B, right?
Sidekicks was a B movie. I'd give it that.
Yeah, it's definitely a B. But I went to the movies, I think, to see Mr. Nanny. So that's like A-, maybe.
All right, we'll give you that one. That's not the battle I'm choosing tonight. So we're going to move on. based on that constipated look Richard just gave, I think he's with me. But we're not going to fight you on that one.
Come on, Sherm Hemsley.
A minus what?
Yeah, no movie with George Jefferson, I guess, can be beneath an A. So makes sense. So we come back to highlights of Sherri winning the USWA Ladies title, which was just a clip of her hitting Miss Texas with a foreign object and immediately pinning her. And apparently the USWA Ladies title isn't represented by a belt or even a trophy or even like a printed certificate. It's just, if you're the USWA Ladies champion in 93, people are just going to have to take your damn word for it. Because
it's a title like Mr. or Mrs.
No evidence.
I swear to God, I'm the champion.
That's my title. I'm champion. I am champion Sherri Martell.
But that just tickled me. It was like literally like 12 seconds of a highlight. You see her pull out a foreign object, crack Miss Texas, 1, 2, 3, and that's all we saw of that match. But then we get highlights of the Lawler and Savage cage match, and I've been trying to cut it down on highlights in this episode, but come on now, we got to see some clips from the unsanctioned steel cage match. Check it out.
Now Savage is out. Lawler touchdown, right hand on Savage. He may have him here now. Savage is out of it. He rolls up. Lawler climbs. What's it? Ah, look out! Better watch it, Jerry. That's Sensational Sherri. Jerry. Martell got over the thing some kind of way and gets in the cage. How in the world? Sherri Martell just climbed the cage, comes down, and nails Lawler from behind. So on 15:48, referee Frank Morrell's going to call for the bell. A sensational Sherri Martell kicks away on Jerry Lawler. Look at Martell, boy. Interfering in the unified world title bout, jumps over the steel cage, climbs the cage, jumps over the top, and she is going to work on the king. This lady, let me tell you, you can't have any respect for her at all. She is just absolutely obnoxious, let me tell you. After beating up on Lawler, Kid Savage, and he goes to work on the king. And Sherri Martell comes back in the ring now, this Martell, and busts Lawler with a right fist. The Savage posts him and all. Martell adds her 2 cents in it. Randy Savage. Hold it on! The king gets out of the way, though. And Martell nails Savage. The strap comes down, and look out, Sherri Martell. Yes, he's trying to get out. But I think you forgot it's a steel cage up there, Sherri. She goes to climb it. It's going to be a little too late, though. The king grabs
So, couple of things about that. My favorite thing about that is in the beginning of this clip, Corey is completely incredulous and dumbfounded on how Sherri Martell managed to get in this cage. She climbed up that cage and somehow managed to get in. I'm like, are you not familiar with the concept of climbing a fence, Corey? Like, she climbed up and over it. Where's the mystery? Like, he's like, how did she crack the code? Why? How? It's a cage. You can't get in the cage.
And then she broke down in that Dr. Seuss, or
no,
he broke down in the Dr. Seuss shit.
That's Sherri, Jerry. And thanks to Sherri Martell, Frank Morrell's going to ring the bell.
It's like, very scary, Jerry, when Sherri.
Yeah, he said Sherri, Jerry, like twice. And then he said, he's ringing the bell. Frank Morrell ringing the bell. Thanks to Sherri Martell coming in here. It's like,
it's like he's trying to amuse himself or something. Like, nobody's going to see this shit.
He's so bored.
Say whatever. And then all I could think was like, God, Savage has got to be asking himself, do they ever wash this mat? This thing is freaking disgusting.
Even the Redman shoe is coming off of it.
I know, it's like peeling off. It looks terrible. All right, so I have to ask Josh, for purposes of simply studying this match and for this show, preparation for the show, did you go back and watch the full match on YouTube?
I almost had a car wreck on the way home leaving the studio. Or no, actually, I was at home. No. Yeah.
Get your story straight, Lawler.
Well, no, I was trying to watch it a second time just to see if it was, because it was really hard to tell if the tit was exposed or not. You know what I mean? Like it didn't really have a good, but I mean, I remember out back and to the left of it a lot.
Yeah. In the words of Jerry Seinfeld, the nipple made an appearance. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I thought you'd enjoy that. So, we go back to the studio where Sherri brings out her new boy toy, Scotty Flamingo. So, we got to check out some of this promo here. Check this out.
Entire situation, I can tell.
I'm real happy with the whole situation. As a matter of fact, hey, Lance Russell, I told you about that tanning bed. How you doing, Dave Brown?
I'm doing
fine. Look at this, people. Look at it, Memphis. Tell me, is this not the most sexiest man that you have ever laid your eyes on? No?
No, they're saying no.
Well, that shows how much intelligence you have. Look at this, ladies. Something to dream about at night. Lay that right there. And look at this, ladies. Something that you go to bed dreaming about every night. And I see. And let me show you something else.
Oh, come on.
Don't want to show them everything, Scotty. Miss Texas, last week you got just a little bit of taste of what I'm going to do to you. You ought to be working at Taco Bell serving miles and hot sauce for what I did to you. But no, you couldn't do it, could ya? You couldn't do it. You had to come back and get a little bit more. It wasn't bad enough. I had to strip that stupid whatever it is you wear around your scalp. It isn't bad enough that I had to humiliate you and rip your clothes off.
Humiliated her.
It's bad enough that I had to come out here and scorn my hands with that stuff, whatever it is you put in your hair, that is a lack of confidence.
It's disgusting that you had to put your hands in her greasy, nappy hair.
I know, makes me think about it already. I went home and took 4 showers.
Ooh. What the hell?
So, quick, BT.
I think he's going to pull his dick out.
Look at Corey's face. He's like, all right, I'm interested.
Anything for ratings.
What do you got there, Scotty?
Maybe that ain't so.
We've all pretty much seen it anyway through them tights. So.
I can pretty much draw it from memory right now.
So this is the closest we've come to seeing somebody get a reach around on USWA TV. And Bert's been gone for a couple of weeks now. So, I mean, it's kind of surprising. What are y'all's thoughts on this segment here?
I just thought I told you guys in a text message earlier this week that I had this memory come back, and we can't always dunk. My grandmother can't always dunk on Danny. She has to find things that she enjoys about the show. She was a huge Jimmy Valiant fan. She's ruined many a rockers watching Jimmy Valiant. I'm telling you right now. But she asked my mom once, and I remembered this later on, like in life. We were watching a Macho Man match, and he was wearing the short tights. And she looked at my mom, and she's like, "You think those guys stuff their tights?" And that led me to realize my grandmother was checking out hogs like she was a pig farmer. Like she was looking at all these men. So she would have loved this. Like, oh, well, pull that down a little bit more. Oh, boy.
That Robert Fuller's got a big one.
Oh, yeah. She loved Robert Fuller, too. She would have.
The old Tennessee stud himself.
Heard some legends. I love horses and I love Robert Fuller, and they both got a big dick on them. She used to ride horses, too.
Oh, dear.
Oh, all right. I guess we've covered that segment enough. But so after that one, we have to take a break. And when we come back, we hear from the King and Miss Texas. And I think after some of those statements from Sherri and Flamingo, it's only fair if we let Miss Jackie get a chance to respond. So let's hear what she had to say, along with Jerry Lawler and his sporty looking purple jacket here. Check this out.
Well, the King is back, and so is Miss Texas.
Sherri Martell, you nothing happening tramp. Now, you got real lucky last week. But I tell you what, you're going to find out that the people in USWA fight. And when I do get you in the ring again, I'm going to kick your teeth down your throat.
I think she can do it, too, you know.
Oh, yeah. You know, I don't know about this Sensational Sherri. She claims, did Scotty Flamingo call her a lady? Did he refer to her as a lady? Huh? I believe he did. Let me tell you something about her, Scotty. She's rubbing her hands all over you. Well, I'll give you a little clue about Sensational Sherri. She's had more men's hands on her than a doorknob, if you know what I mean, pal. I think, as a matter of fact, is she running for some sort of election?
I don't know.
I think she must be running for some sort of election, because when I was up in the WWF, I heard them say that Sensational Sherri's seat was up for grabs. So what does that mean, huh? I'll tell you what it means. It means that, just exactly like Miss Texas said, you, Sensational Sherri, are a sleazy tramp. That's right. We're calling you a sleazy tramp. And if you had any guts, you would come out here, you and that wimp Scotty Flamingo, and do something about it.
Sleazy tramp. First of all, Dave Brown doesn't let us down. Check that out. That's right after.
They're all looking like posing for a picture at Sears.
They do.
Look like they're still in their suit jackets.
Oh, that's my favorite part of the show right there. But I mean, so they call Sherri a sleazy tramp. My goodness, we're trying our best to put some heat on this upcoming mixed tag match that feels like, honestly, a huge step backwards. I mean, last week we were in an unsanctioned steel cage match, and now we're pivoting to a mixed tag team match with a guy who was like in the third match last week. I mean, am I wrong, or I don't know.
I mean, and he's already wrestled him once and didn't sound too enthusiastic about doing it then.
Yeah, I mean, remember that.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Gene. My impression of all this was Macho Man was like coming on down to wrestle, and he like just shows up, and he's like maybe late, because I feel like it was a program supposed to be started with Scotty, and Macho's like announcing he's coming down, and well, shit, we got to pause that, and then it's like, well, we'll pick right back up. And that's what I felt watching it.
And it's probably what it was. It was probably like, hey, we can spare Randy this Monday night because Raw's not going to be alive, or whatever reason that they didn't need Randy at Monday Night Raw that week. Like, all right, well, let's have an unsanctioned steel cage match. And then, okay, but Randy can't lose. Well, no, I mean, we don't have to have a finish. Jerry, it's an unsanctioned steel cage match. It's Memphis. They don't care. We do this shit all the time. Don't tell us how to run our stuff, Vince. Okay, pal. But anyway, that's what we got coming up. Mixed tag team match. So next we see highlights of what happened last week when Jeff Jarrett teamed up with Brian Christopher to challenge Simply Divine for the tag team titles. Let's take a quick look at how this turned out.
I did what I said I'd do.
Would you? Christopher, wouldn't they get Jeff Jarrett a high five in there and jumped on Jeff? tell you, this Brian Christopher, something else. He and Jarrett work together well in there against King and Dahl. Looked to be a good tag team, and all of a sudden he jumps on Jeff Jarrett. What in the world, let me tell you. Brian Christopher, don't put nothing past this guy. He's jumping on Jeff Jarrett. Out of nowhere, Christopher says, hey, Jeff, I came out and did the job I told you I'd do. And all of a sudden, he jumps on Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett on his feet, and boy, they're fighting it out. Christopher goes for the power driver. Oh! And Jarrett flips him over. Goes after Christopher. What a wild turn of events from these two. Work together well. Was a good-looking tag team in there. Oh, boy, here comes King and Dahl. Simply divine in there. After Jarrett and Christopher, we're going in. Well, let me tell you, this is some kind of crazy thing, let me tell you that. King and Dahl, Simply Divine, they show back up, and they jump on Jeff Jarrett. Christopher's back on his feet.
So that went about as well as we would have expected it to.
Yeah.
So, all right. So as I was watching this and was thinking about it the first time I watched it, do we assume that we couldn't actually get Wendell Cooley or anybody to come in and tag with Jeff, so we pivoted to this swerve with Brian? Or do we assume that they never even tried to book another partner and this was just a planned beat in the storyline of the Brian Christopher and Jeff Jarrett story?
That's where I'm going with it. I think it was just a planned, what can we do to make this still fresh without another disqualification or another, run in?
Oh, it was a disqualification. The match ended in a disqualification.
Well, I mean, what else can we do? Yeah, what else can we do? Well, my thought is, he's like, well, we can make them tag partners, and then he can turn on him. Now, it would have made Jeff look a little bit smarter if they would have drew this out a few weeks instead of doing it, what 3 nights after he's like, I don't like you, but I'm on team with you. And then he beat him down.
I thought it was hilarious that Corey was so surprised. Like, what is Brian doing? He just
Brian Christopher in there. I'll tell you what.
It was like, oh my God, the bad guy being a bad guy now. Come on now. Like, dude, look, we know he's a bad guy. I'm not surprised at all.
He tried to high five you and you kicked him in his guts. So, and I also wonder if this was to test the water of, well, how would the fans take to him if we do turn him babyface? Because the fans were just as stupid as Jeff, because when he turned in the studio last Saturday, they were all on board with babyface Brian until the moment he turned here. So it may have been, just a part of the story and kind of tested like, all right, so we can turn Brian anytime we want or need to. So in that aspect, I guess it was effective. And, we've talked about before, Brian costing Jeff the WWF Intercontinental title was a pretty effective way to kick that feud back off. But I guess turning on him after being his partner for one match adds another wrinkle into everything as well. But it makes Jeff like a tremendous asshole. But
yeah,
babyfaces in Memphis have traditionally been pretty naive about tagging with heels who make an abrupt face turn that doesn't seem to last. But Jeff comes out. Go ahead.
Or they wear big purple jackets that we don't talk about. What the hell? I can't let it go. Josh said something during the break, and I'm like, Josh, you didn't bring it up. Why didn't we talk about the big purple jacket? Jerry had on a big purple jacket.
I was waiting on y'all to go there when I pitched it to y'all. I'm like, well, we're going to talk about the jacket or no?
Josh didn't. It just froze up. Josh had a good line. You might have to delete
put this back on the screen as it makes this line more effective, whatever you're about to say. Take a look at this.
I looked at Richard and I said, it looks like they're going to her auntie's funeral.
And Dave Brown looks like he just heard you say that.
Yeah.
And even Miss Texas is like, you're right.
God bless Gladys.
Who looked like the bigger fool? Jeff for trusting Brian, or Jerry for trusting his tailor?
Well, it's Jerry for showing up without a suit coat, and Reggie B's like, I got you. Come here. I got like 4 different coats in my car. One of them's going to fit you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can pull off purple, Reggie. Oh, you look good, King. You look good. Oh, yeah, that's
royal.
real good.
It's a royal color.
Yeah, exactly. Holly Race wore purple. He was
Well,
king.
think about it. It's been Purple King. Like how many times that we've been doing these reviews? We've mentioned it before. It's like I'm viewing 93 is like Purple King era. You know what I mean?
But he got the matching purple shirt to go under it. Like that man coordinated.
Yeah.
Trying to get that purple over, man.
He was trying to look sharp just in case Macho Man pops out from under the ring again or some shit. And he'll be like, hey. Alan, son,
Purple on purple. Looking like
Jeff comes out and says, go ahead. I feel like that's a good line you're about to say.
Oh, I said looking like Grimace. That's all I said.
Oh, that's definitely looking like Grimace. It was a bold choice. When he walked out in it the first time I watched this, I was like, okay, King. And like one thing to be wearing these purple tights and stuff, but like, where did you go to find that jacket? Like
Greg's. I know you know what I'm talking about. The commercial. Wear it out, y'all.
He still had it from prom.
He was trying to pick up another sponsor for the show. Like, if I wear this out there, Greg's is going to want me in a commercial.
You wear it well, New York Suit Exchange.
He's like, hey, Coco, can I pull this off? Oh, yeah. You look good.
Yes, it do.
You want to go to church with me Sunday?
You ought to dress for it. I love it. Purple King.
All right. So Jeff comes out and says he'll be facing Brian Christopher later in the show, but he has a mystery partner to take on Simply Divine this Monday night at the Coliseum. And he tells us that he's someone from early in his career and that he has a guitar. Now, I guess if you're a fairly new fan at this point, maybe you have no idea who Jeff Jarrett could be referring to. I immediately knew exactly who Jeff was referring to. I'm like, well, so much for the mystery of the mystery partner. But let's check it out. For those of you who don't know, you may be very surprised at what's fixing to happen here as Simply Divine attack Jeff Jarrett.
Let me tell you something, Jeff Jarrett. Let me give you a little bitty hint about tag team wrestling. Now, I know what you do. Me and you used to ride down the highways together, son. You don't sit at home in your big condo, reading your USA Today, drinking your Michelob Lights, and going through the one ads finding your partner. Me and this man right here have been tag team wrestling for 5 long years. You shut up and listen. 5 long years, Jeff Jarrett. Let me tell you something right now. I don't think you got a partner. I don't see Jerry Lawler out here. Where's Jerry Lawler? I saw him out here earlier. He's not out here with you. They don't want to be associated with a loser like you, Jarrett. That's the bottom line.
Might be right behind that curtain, yeah. Yeah, you think you're so big and bad,
He
do all
just
your...
might be behind.
Jeff, Rex King right behind him. Oh, look out! It's Billy Travis! Heading the top. Oh, my goodness. He has nailed Steve Dahl. Oh, Rex King.
Moses King with a guitar. Here comes PG-13. Now Gilbert and Scotty Flamingo. They're out to try to get a little help for Rex King and Steve Dahl. And Billy Travis busted both of them, boy.
I guess we know who the mystery partner is now, huh?
This is Rex King with that guitar.
He kind of looked like country music Sandman in those pants, didn't he?
Goddamn
He
hat.
did.
Yeah.
Hairdo and everything. Yeah, so Billy Joe showing Rock and Roll Phantom how to swing a guitar out there. Those were a little more impressive guitar shots for me than what we've been seeing old Donnie Bass do. And I didn't put it in the clip, but I like when Jarrett said, I've got a guy from my past and he's got a guitar, and no, it's not the Rock and Roll Phantom or the Honky Tonk Man. You know, there's people at home scratching their head going, Rock and Roll Phantom's going to help Jeff Jarrett? Honky Tonk Man? They were just out here arguing a few weeks ago.
You could say those guitar shots were well done.
Hey, now. All right, I like it. I was always a fan of Billy Joe, so I was happy to see him here. What do you guys think of Billy? Did you like him back in the day when they were tagging in the 80s?
Yes, that's my first memory of Billy Joe Travis is whenever him and Jeff Jarrett was like, the tag team, the blonde tag team, man. You just wanted to cheer them. They're both young guys and all that. And I remember Billy Joe turning on him and bloodying in the hell. They just bloodied him up in the studio one day, and it was on. But my favorite Billy Joe Travis, obviously, was when he was in USWA Texas all the time on ESPN. Yeah. He challenged, who was it, Buster Douglas to a boxing match, and he was trying to literally get that started back then. He was wearing the Elvis suits and stuff. I loved heel Billy Joe Travis.
That's when he really found himself.
Yeah, I always just saw Billy Joe Travis as a heel, and even when he came out here, I told Josh, I said, well, Jeff's going to look stupid again because he's trusting a guy that plays an instrument, because we all know if you play an instrument, you ain't going to be over very long as a babyface. You're going to have to turn heel. Turns out he plays it by smashing it into the back of the head of Well Done.
Poor guys. My favorite Billy Joe Travis, or just Billy Travis memory, is when that son of a bitch Paul Diamond turned on Jeff and Billy in the 6-man tag team loser leaves Memphis match. And Billy had to leave town, and suddenly the masked BT Express showed up, teaming with Jeff Jarrett. And then, of course, years later, another BT Express would show up somewhere. But we'll talk about that on another day. Right now, it is time to take our very first podcast commercial break, and we'll be right back with more.
Hey, it's Bob Smith, and guess what? The Outdated Wrestling Hour is now part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. But hey, no fear, you're still going to hear the unique guests, comedy, music, authors, journalists, funny people. Who knows who's going to end up on the Outdated Wrestling Hour? Remember, it's all new and all old. So check it out in the WrestleCopia Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcasts. Listen if you know what's good for you.
Hey guys, this is Wolfie D from PG-13. Check out my podcast, Live and in Color with Wolfie D, every Monday at noon. We're talking Memphis, we're talking ECW, WCW, WWF, everywhere that I've been. We even have some great guests, some Hall of Famers on the show with us. Every Monday at noon, Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school, but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Chic, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all. And all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling. Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
He hit that ass so good that he reset. Even though he was on live TV, he's like, no, that ain't going to work. I'm going to do it from over here.
And just to tell from our childhood, when we were kids, Billy Joe was over with us so much that we would pretend that we were going to break our friend's acoustic guitar all the time. And I remember Josh used to go, somebody owe me a guitar. And then act like he was going to smash it. And our friend was like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, that's what I really noticed during the replay. Exactly what you said. He's about to swing it. He stops. He takes 2 steps to the left, squares up, and just cracks the shit out of Steven does. It's tremendous.
Definitely a vertebrae was knocked a little loose there.
He was face down, and he did not get back up until that segment was over. Like all the other fighting was going around. Steven Dunn was just face down on the mat until after that was gone to commercial.
They get to the back, Billy Joe slaps him like, man, that was good selling.
So we find out that Coco Beware is going to be facing Brian Christopher on Monday night. So let's hear just a little bit from Coco Beware, and let's pay special attention to the wording in this clip we have right here.
Well, pretty boy Brian Christopher, guess who's on your trail? Guess who's knocking at your back door? It is the Birdman! Remember this face? Well, you better get ready because it's coming right at you Monday night. So, Brian Christopher, I'm going to do yourself a favor. I'm going to do your parents a favor, something they should have did a long time ago. That's to wear your booty out. Monday night, you are mine. Mark it down, baby. You're mine.
I feel like if we read between the lines there was a very specific threat there. He's knocking at Brian's back door, and he's going to wear his booty out because he is...
Just like his parents should have.
Sound like one of them P. Diddy freak parties.
Yeah. My goodness, Coco. I don't know how I feel about that.
Was it weird that the I was in gold and you really couldn't make it out, so it looked like you couldn't spell bird?
The BRD man.
It felt like a Coco Beware promo from like 86 or 7 in WWF, because that's when he wore that headband. Like, what part of his closet did he dig that out of? Because when I saw that screenshot initially, I'm like, this is an old Coco Beware promo. And then he started talking about Brian Christopher's booty. I'm like, well, no, this is 93 for sure.
I mean, hopefully, because if he was really young back then.
Oh, man, that's from 86. You're right.
Yeah, demons.
His short run is a nightmare back in the day. But,
that one, I think you can tell them apart. That one's a different color.
That's why they switch. That's why they switched partners. It's real hard to do that switch out.
The old switcheroo.
I don't know how they got figured out by that. I mean,
they'd have to wear those scorpion suits. Make that shit work.
With gloves.
Mask is a terror. So then we get a promo from Brian Christopher, who doesn't seem to be taking this Coco match very serious at all. He's making fun of Coco's name and just a bunch of other random serious silliness. We're not even going to show a clip of this one, but any thoughts on this Brian Christopher promo in particular?
Who names their kid Coco? I want to know. He spent like 2 minutes just on that fact. And
he's like, really wanted to find out.
He wanted an answer. He's looking at the crowd. I love it.
Call his parents. Let's find out who named him Coco.
But I mean, that's what you do, right? If you, Coco's a great wrestler. He doesn't really have anything besides, the bird itself, and he hadn't even brought him, I don't think. So, I mean, you got to go with the name or something. Really can't screw with him on anything else.
But man, he come out, he was strutting and dancing like he was feeling it on this episode, fresh off of turning on Jeff Jarrett. Like he was in full on Brian Christopher heel mode.
He literally French kissed his bicep. I laughed my ass off, dude.
So up next, we're just now to match number 2 of this show. Of all the things we've seen, this is the second match to take place in the ring. Southern champion Jeff Jarrett taking on Brian Christopher. And I didn't pull any clips of this match because it wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't anything that stood out from any other Jarrett and Brian Christopher match you've ever seen. And besides, just as you would expect, it ended with a run-in from Simply Divine. They threw some powder in Billy Travis's face as he come in to help Jeff, so they shut him down, which he'd already got his a few minutes ago. So that allowed them for a 3-on-2 beatdown. And then after what felt like for freaking ever, Lawler and Jeff Gaylord finally half-heartedly run in there for the old too little too late save.
Did you notice, though, Jeff Gaylord was just like looking for people to fight with. Nobody wanted to fight with him. He spent like 30 seconds just looking around,
maybe he
shaking.
Maybe he was late because he was in the back listing all of his credentials to someone.
You sure I can't do a promo? Come on, Jeff. Just a short promo. Yeah, he looked totally lost. Like he's just looking for anybody to fight with, and nobody was there.
Nobody wanted to start a program with him.
One thing I don't get about this match is they made a very big point at the beginning, because Brian had said in his promo the title was going to be on the line. Dave says in the beginning, I don't know if the title's on the line or not. Then he clarifies with Eddie Marlin, no, the title is not on the line. we make this big spectacle out of whether or not the belt's on the line just for Brian to lose by DQ. Like, well, who gives a shit? The title could have been on the line. It was inconsequential anyway. So it was just kind of, that part was kind of weird to me. But yeah, poor Jeff Gaylord. He didn't come out of that one looking great, but that's kind of par for the course for old Jeffrey, it seems. So
just gets confused and put the referee in a headlock.
I think somebody, maybe he just wasn't sure who to attack because he spent his entire career being a heel, and then he's like,
"Oh, in my face." I don't know. So now we're on to match number 3. Larry the Fantasy Williams versus the Shadow. Now, I'm guessing they found this fantasy guy on the same Outlaw show. They found the Marino Brothers, as he looks like the third Marino brother. Instead of a cowboy, he's going for the not so fabulous one ensemble here. And it's funny because, Memphis actually has several guys that are actually in shape right now. Brian, Scotty, Steve, Steve Dahl, Rex King. And then this is the guy that we're going to call Mr. Fantasy. What are we doing?
Don't judge my fantasy, Eugene.
and this is his debut, and he gets attacked by the Shadow as he's taking off his cummerbund. And that's why I've always preferred to never wear a cummerbund, because reaching back there to unhook it, it leaves you susceptible for this kind of a back, sneak attack like this. So just remember that if you're going to wear a cummerbund, it could cost you. But
there's no manly way to really take them off either.
No. I mean, Stan and Steve tried their best to look tough doing it, but the Fantasy here, he didn't quite pull it off. The only real entertaining part of this match is watching Doug Gilbert dancing at ringside, showing his he's so bored with this match, he's showing his new tights to Dave and Corey at the table, and they're actually interested in I saw those. They had records on them. Eventually, it's clear. It becomes very, very clear that the deal with this match is this guy is supposed to get enough of Doug's antics at ringside and then come over and kick him. But Doug did everything but shoot a fucking road flare at ringside. That hole does not get the point.
Yeah, Doug could have been on Soul Train, dude. He danced for like 5 minutes, and he
kept his shoulders out doing it.
Larry was having a fantasy during this time because he didn't fucking notice, and when he did notice, it had just strung out too long. And I was happy when Doug just started putting the boots to him.
Yeah, I mean, it was all this guy could do to pull a suplex off on the Shadow. The Shadow kept taking over on him. Like, we've never seen the Shadow get in any offense. He's taking over on this guy every time he turns around. He can barely get him up for a suplex. So finally, this guy, well, let's see how this part of the match plays out.
Hold on a second. You see my new wrestling punch? You see what they say? I saw that. I saw your attempt to get a rose there met with the same success that you made me with against the Fantasy here.
Hey, what I'm going to do, Dave, is I gave those people over there $1 because that's about how much wrestling skill he's got, about how much he's worth is $1. So what I'm going to do to him is beat his brains out in just a little bit. So you wait. See, watch me dance. So watch this, Dave.
Now, Doug, you've got a match scheduled later in the week against Leave Him Alone. Well, one thing you ought to do is to get out of here and let this match continue. That's what you should do.
I'm going to beat him because I am the king.
Yeah, you may be the king. Get out of here. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, do you see that?
Yeah, somebody's paying attention to you, huh?
How goes Doug Gilbert? Jumps in and
goodness,
jumps
look out,
on
Larry,
Larry
from
Williams.
behind.
Yeah, jumps right on Larry Williams from behind. Slugs away on Larry. Referee Kevin Christian calls for the bell. The Shadow slides under and gets out of there. Doug Gilbert DDT Larry Williams and goes after Larry.
Gilbert out here showing off and interfering in the events, even though he didn't interfere in the match. Larry Williams came over and said, hey, get out of here. He put a boot across the shoulder blade. And Doug Gilbert, that's all the excuse he was looking for, to go in and jump the Fantasy Larry Williams.
Yeah,
here comes
help, though, yeah.
Now the Marino.
Gaylord's like, damn it, I still didn't make contact.
He didn't touch not one human.
Trying to make friends and save this guy.
So third match, third run in. But you know what? I'm not even mad at this one. Like, I'm just mad it didn't happen sooner. I mean,
I was so glad that Larry could get off from Kroger to come out. He just looks like a regular guy, just like me up there in tights and shit. And he probably looked better, obviously, but like it was horrible. And you could tell Doug, he's standing there. Finally, he's like, fuck it. I'll go over here and talk to Dave again. Then he comes back. It's like, motherfucker, if you didn't see the cue, here it is again. Like, come on.
He kept looking behind him. He's like, you got to be kidding. This guy is still not. He's like, he's not even dancing. He's just pointing where to kick him at this point. I've got to, at some point, get on Dangerous Conversations or on my YouTube channel, get Doug to watch this match and comment on his memories of this whole. I'm sure he's blocked it out of his head, but once he sees it, I'm sure he'll jog some fun comments out.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh man. I mean, that guy, the fantasy guy, I mean, he's built for a gimmick like the Shadow. He needs to have a bodysuit and a mask, and he doesn't need to get any offense. It was all he could do to suplex the freaking Shadow.
The wrong way.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the right arm.
God.
Working
and now he's going to be wrestling Doug come Monday night. So, Lord help poor Doug. But anyway, so now we're on to match number 4, which I suppose this makes this the main event. The USWA Tag Team Champions, Simply Divine, Rex King, and Steve Dahl, taking on Jeff Gaylord and Nightmare Danny Davis. What would Grandma say about Danny Davis teaming up with Jeffrey Howard Gaylord?
That's probably about right. You know, he can't find no friends. Might as well try to win a match or something. No. Jeff Gaylord's going to take what he can get on this one. So, at least his shoulders aren't going to be pinned at the mat. We all know Danny's going to lose this one. So,
poor Uncle Danny. At least we didn't get a pre-match promo this week from Big Jeff the Gaylord. But no surprise here. This tag match ends when people start running in. Though, somewhat surprisingly, though, it's Jarrett and Travis that run in first. So that's a little different. So let's see this big melee of a clusterfuck that ended the show here as everybody on the roster made their way to the ring.
Steve Dahl, Jeff Gaylord against Rex King. Here comes the King. Yeah! He's got Brian Christopher. He knows Christopher. Look at Lawler go after Brian Christopher. He and Jeff take Christopher in. Big double right fist from Lawler and Jarrett. Referee Devin Christian trying to get order. Oh, but it's going to be hard to do, especially now because Terry Martell. Sensational Sherri comes right on the back of Lawler. Does this Sherri Martell. Boy, let me tell you, you talk about a brawl in full action. It's here today. Christopher holds Lawler while Martell. Here comes the Texas. Look out, Sherri Martell. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Look at Miss Texas. Go after Martell. He jumped right on the back of Sherri and went right after in there. Miss Texas flips her over. Here comes Scotty Flamingo. Scotty Flamingo grabs Miss Texas. Look out. Oh, boy, that is ridiculous. Flamingo just picked up Miss Texas and flipped her over hard in there. Oh, that's hard. Here come the young stallions. Here comes the fantasy, Larry Williams. My goodness, we got a ring full. Looks like a battle royal in there. Everybody's in the action. Sherri Martell working on Miss Texas over in the corner. Oh, here comes BG13. BG13. It's a free-for-all. And Wolfie D in there. Yeah, that's a free-for-all with Doug Gilbert in there. The crowd on their feet watching this one as we got a ring full. Here's Eddie Marlin saying, what happened? Here's Eddie. He's up on the ring apron. He's going to try to get them separated. Oh, Scotty Flamingo overhits Eddie Marlin. Eddie knocks out Flamingo. Look at Eddie. He goes over and busts Flamingo. Eddie's right in the middle of it. Doug Gilbert and Eddie, look out. Oh, man. Eddie Marlin's tangled up in there. Look at Eddie. Eddie holding his arm. one separated. There goes some of the folks out of here. Let's take a break.
Notice Danny didn't want anymore. He might as well have been waving a white flag over in the corner. He done been beating us.
That's the most Memphis shit ever, though, that this whole big brawl, the big crescendo that it builds to, is Eddie Marlin coming in and cleaning house on the heels. Why? He's not in a match. Why?
He is the star, Gene.
He told us that.
Yes. He
No
told
secret.
Honky Tonk Man.
And dude, I popped the biggest whenever he just bam hit Scotty right in the face, and he just took the bump. It was like I was 10 years old again. Hit him, Eddie. Hit his ass. Acting all funny and stuff. That'd been me at 10.
Miss Texas was having a harder time wrestling her skirt down than she was wrestling Sherri or Scotty Flamingo is snap suplexing her, and she's in the process of trying to pull her skirt down as she's getting. Hey, look at Scotty just flipped her over hard in there. That's ridiculous.
I was hoping we'd get a ridiculous in at least once every show, and he waited till the end.
Oh yeah, he laid it in there when it mattered. That's ridiculous.
Did you see the disrespect when the Marinos came in? How no one really sold for them, and they just like, here comes PG-13. Just shut them down. We'll still rake their eyes.
But the one thing though that kind of went through my head, I got half-ass pissed off after everything calmed down, because it just didn't really make sense. And it's like, are we doing a battle royal, or what is this leading to, or is this just a weird way to, like you said, to end it like that? But it didn't make any sense at all.
Well, as you're trying to make sense of it, Brian's beating down on Jeff when this clip starts, because there was more than that. I was just trying to keep the clip into my usual time frame there. But Brian's beating on Jeff. Lawler comes in, who has a match with Scotty Flamingo and Sherri. He's the one that starts wailing on Brian. And you never really see him tie up with Scotty. Scotty suplexes Miss Texas. Sherri grapples around with Miss Texas. But then Eddie Marlin comes in and kicks the shit out of Scotty. I'm like, well, what are we just going to take Lawler out of the match and make it Eddie Marlin Miss Texas against Scotty and Sherri, which seems more like the kind of mixed tag match we're used to on a Monday night card, not the freaking main event. Yeah, nobody really, other than PG-13 getting some licks in on the Marinos or whatever. And I think I seen Mr. Fantasy punch Doug twice before Doug cleaned his clock. And it's like, what is any of this doing for us right here? Like, it's just all over the place. But since this is going to air after the Hall of Fame, I feel like we can spoil this, because I've heard a rumor. Josh, you can either confirm it or not this, but I've heard a rumor that you have got a complete replica of that outfit Sherri's wearing to rock at the Hall of Fame thing tomorrow night, just to surprise Uncle Danny. And boy, will he be surprised. I've heard of assless chaps, but assless shorts is a whole nother look.
You'll just have to wait and see, Gene. But like, you got to make people remember you, right? I'm not getting inducted. They're going to have to remember me somehow.
You need to let Randy know so they can move some tickets based off that. I could put that up tomorrow morning. Hey, guess what? Josh Bradley's going to be rocking tonight, and the tickets would just fly off the website there. People are like, oh my god, the P3 radio guy is going to be rocking.
I thought when you
said, shorts.
I thought when you said that we were I thought you were basically leading up for us to say we could bash some of these guys. You were like, this is going to be.
Yeah, that's always an option too.
Yeah, and, y'all want to say something?
Because we've been holding back so much in recent time.
I just want to let everybody know Steve Marino ain't shit. He owes me money.
I mean, Jerry Lawler's going to walk up us wearing that purple jacket tomorrow night and just slap us across the face, and he ain't even seen the episode yet, but he's just going to feel it.
I'll show you, King bitch. Boom. I'd take that slap, man. It'd be all right. He's the king.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure, and maybe it's a completely different jacket, but yet the exact same size, But I'm pretty sure in like '96, Bill Dundee come out there wearing that exact same purple jacket. I'm thinking Lawler like gifted to him. Like, I can't pull this off. And Dundee's like, give it to me. I'll wear the damn thing.
No weatherman's jacket. They just got it in a prop closet back there.
It's literally just in the broom closet. And it's like, if you need a suit coat to go on studio with.
Dave's like, I couldn't pull it off. I tried, but
it's in here with Hard Times Jesus's tights. It's just a find a penny, keep a penny, take a penny type thing. It's just a sports jacket. Same principle.
The scorpion suits always hanging in there.
Dave's going to do weather in one of the scorpion suits.
Jesus.
We didn't even. Yeah, that really bummed me out. But we didn't even mention during the Lawler thing. I'm having all these flashbacks about the purple coat and everything. Lawler straight up confronts and puts Dave Brown on the spot about the weather for them fucking softball games. And Dave's like, what time are you wanting to play? He knew the timing of the weather. It was great.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Dave just like put it down. Like, what time? Oh, you'll be good. No, you're good.
Yeah.
Not fucking
Dave says it. It's happening. So, yep, Uncle Dave, he knows that weather. But yeah, that was I'm glad you mentioned that because I had intended to, and I didn't put it in the notes that Lawler just flat out, hey Dave.
You said
what's going to be happening with the weather tomorrow?
You said Uncle Dave telling the weather. It made me think of Uncle Danny tell the weather, and I had that. Thank God Danny's now weather, man. We didn't know whether to wear sweaters, galoshes, or fucking tank tops. Never get right.
Oh, poor Uncle Danny. Yeah, he hasn't come out on the good end of things here in the last couple of weeks. I'm hoping that he manages to go to 8-year-old Josh's house, get his middleweight title belt back, and he can get back on track.
He's never gonna beat that 8-year-old for that title.
Rob him.
Oh, he's gonna try to take my eye out tomorrow. I just know it.
Probably so. He's in Bemis right now.
He was on Randy's show not too long ago, and I just messaged in because when he was on our podcast, we talked about how when we were kids, we used to raid his gear closet. So I just made a little comment on there. I was like, thank you for, I was like, congratulations from the kid next door. I said, congratulations, Uncle Danny, from the kid next door that used to raid your gear closet, Richard. And Randy was like, you have a nephew named Richard? And he raided your gear closet? And Danny was like, yeah, that's my nephew's best friend, Josh and Richard. They're great guys. And I let them borrow some gear when they started wrestling. And I was like, I'm 6'3", 300 pounds. I don't think I can squeeze into a Danny Davis outfit. Could you?
He thinks Josh wrestled at some point.
Josh had one match.
One.
But I mean,
this is news to me. We're gonna have to dig deeper in this. We'll find. Is there video of this?
Yes.
There is.
I still have the tape. It's
Patreon.
all my, yes, that's where I was going, man. And it was with Richard, so that's even better.
Hell yes, that is definitely going to be a great Patreon tease very soon. We will be checking out.
It honestly looks like at that point I hadn't been in a wrestling ring in 6 years. It literally looks like that. It's great.
Oh, it's probably not good, to be honest. One of us.
Hey, guess what though? It marked that motherfucker off the checklist, man. I got it out of me.
I guarantee you that match 10 times better than Mr. Fantasy versus the Shadow. I say that without even seeing it. I guarantee it. It has to
way more spots, a lot smoother. And it was clunky as a goddamn toy train, man.
With a broken wheel.
Mm-hmm.
How many years ago would you say that was?
2006.
Oh, wow.
All right. So it's
18 years.
We're gonna have to come up on maybe we'll wait 2 more years till we get to the 20-year anniversary. But yeah, we need to do an anniversary, have a rematch, make that happen. We find somebody that's got a ring somewhere. We can.
Oh my God, we'd have to do it like jiu-jitsu guys roll. We just have to be on our knees, and fucking not do any bumps.
I'm gonna say 3 letters for you: CGI.
Yeah, I was about to say what the hell do they call the Undertaker and AJ Styles cinematic match?
Yeah,
yeah.
We're just gonna play a video game together and do it that way.
Y'all's tribute to Cena and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Y'all can go through all the characters of Uncle Danny and Ken Wayne or something. Like,
all right, I'm gonna be
Nightmares and
versus
Galaxians.
the American Eagle.
You can tell this is Danny because he keeps losing all the matches.
The Tennessee Studs. You remember that shit from Stampede, where him and Ken had they look like mini handsome Jimmy Valiants. Your grandma would have actually been on Uncle Danny's side for that one.
Probably.
They had the handlebar mustaches and shit, long hair.
I've seen little clips of it. I had to is that who that is? Holy shit.
Yeah, I bought some shit off of eBay like 10 years ago, and some of that Stampede stuff was in there, and I didn't even know it was on the tape. And I was like, holy shit. I'd never heard him talk about that gimmick or nothing. So, it was really, I discovered it.
Nice. And then I could run in as the fattest Master of Terra ever in a very ill-fitting Master of Terra outfit for the finish. And the mystery would be, who's he going to help?
Which one of us is going to be, which I always was pissed off that they left it out of the movie. Which one of us is going to be the Uncle Danny that was Jerry Lawler's manager when he faced Andy Kaufman? Pissed that they left that off the movie.
Yeah.
Him in that suit.
It's true. Probably on the cutting room floor somewhere. Somebody decided it just wasn't enough time.
Who do you think your grandma would have said should play my uncle? Danny DeVito?
No shock you all fell on that movie. This is everything. I don't know who she would have had play your uncle. I think
George Costanza.
I think they probably asked her, and she was probably like, "Why don't you just cut him out?
Don't even have him in there.
Don't even have him in there. It's not going to be good." So.
Is that Napoleon Dynamite, kid?
Wow, we really took your show off the rails, Gene.
Sorry.
Yeah, man, this is as farthest we've ever gone off the rails. But we are right here to the final break, the Mid-South Coliseum card rundown, and we were only an hour and 10 minutes into the show, which is awesome because we've been running 2-hour freaking shows lately. So we had time for a little bit of diversion, but we're gonna pull it back up on the road. Let's take our last commercial break. Then we're gonna hear what this amazing card at the Mid-South Coliseum is going to be, and then we're going to talk about those results when we come back.
This is Wrestling Nostalgia, the podcast that dives into wrestling history. Hey, wrestling fans, I'm Dave Dynasty, and if you enjoy podcasts that are knowledgeable and history-driven, then Wrestling Nostalgia is for you. With great guests and fun interviews, there are over 200 episodes in our archives. We chat with several first-time guests and often cover topics not discussed on other podcasts. Look up Wrestling Nostalgia on your favorite podcast platform and visit all of our links at linktree/WrestlePod. That is linktr.ee/RASSLEPOD. And remember, wherever you go, whatever you do, be good, be safe, and keep on growing.
Hey guys, Ray Russell here, curator of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network, inviting you guys to listen to many of the programs here as part of the WrestleCopia brand, including, but not limited to, the Wrestling Memory Grenade, currently covering the 1988 and the WWF project. You can also listen to the Regional Wrestling Podcast, where we talk the territories, whether it's Jamie Ward with Georgia 81, Roman Gomez with the UWF in 1986, or Gene Jackson covering Memphis in 85. 3 projects going on right now over there at Regional Wrestling. You can also listen to the Wrestling Stoop with the legend himself, Bob Roop. Bob goes back in time each and every week, covering not just his career, but countless stories and interactions with hundreds of wrestling names spanning his 2 decades in the business. But that's not all. You can also check out the Puro Wrestling Academy with the professor of Puroresu, Mr. Dan Ginnity. Dan and I go back in time and cover the history of Japanese professional wrestling in the English language. And you can listen to all of those shows and more, all part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network, located over at WrestleCopia.com. That's WrestleCopia.com, and anywhere your podcast streaming needs are met, from Apple to Spotify, Pocket Cast, and beyond. And while you're at it, why not subscribe to our social media guys for all the latest goings on here at the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Plus, I'm constantly adding old school video clips and pictures from throughout wrestling history. You can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter, at Wrestling Grenade. That's at RASSLIN Grenade. Also, follow and like me, Facebook.com/Wrestling Grenade. And why not subscribe to YouTube.com/Wrestling Grenade. So if you're looking to support that next up-and-coming podcast brand, please consider making it WrestleCopia.
So we want to thank our, as Wolfie D says, our dope-ass sponsors for supporting the podcast and sharing ads with us. So right now, let's let Dave and Corey tell us what this has all been building up to and what we have to look forward to this Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum.
Doug Gilbert, he says he's a king of rock and roll. Going
This
again.
one's going to be a good bout now. Interesting, very interesting bout now with what Doug tried to do in there to Mr. Fantasy, Larry Williams.
You notice Larry Williams didn't back up from him when Doug was out here doing all that dancing around and showing off. Mr. Fantasy said, hey, get out of here. It's my match. Those two will face each other in the opener. Danny Davis scheduled against Axel Rotten in the next match. PG-13 against the Young Stallions.
Yeah, Young Stallion.
Bill and Steve Marino came in here, and they were insulted by PG-13. PG-13 jumped them a couple of times, but I tell you what, the Young Stallions were holding their own, put them in a ring, and it looks like we're going to have a good match Monday night at the Coliseum. Special grudge challenge match, the first of three main events. Brian Christopher against Coco Beware. These two don't like each other, you can tell. And, Coco said, just wait, Brian Christopher, and I'll get you in that ring and take care of you. Christopher showing no respect whatsoever for Coco Beware with the insults and all of that. Coco be looking for him Monday night, I guarantee you. USWA tag titles on the line. Rex King and Steve Dahl have the belts. They will be defending against Jeff Jarrett and his partner, no longer a mystery. It's going to be Billy Travis, or might be a guitar along for good measure, too. And then the final match of the night. Boy,
oh, boy.
Do you want to see this one
Talk
tonight?
about fireworks.
Yeah, Miss Texas and Jerry Lawler on one side of the ring. On the other, Sensational Sherri and Scotty Flamingo. I don't know if the Coliseum will hold it or not, but we'll try. Monday night, 7:30 at the Mid-South Coliseum. Make your plans right now to be there.
Really, Dave? Really? You don't know if the Coliseum will hold that mixed tag match? Hope you predict the weather better than you predict wrestling matches, pal. All right, guys. It's that time once again. Let's ask you them questions and see how you feel about today's episode. So, number one, what was your least favorite part of today's episode?
I wasn't a big fan of the Marinos. I thought they brought the whole show down
in the first segment.
I mean, really, there's nowhere else to go but up from there, you would think. And then they had like a match. But very rarely do I long for the days of the Knights and their dues. But I'm like, at least that was something. You know what I mean? At least the tag team with the one guy that had Tourette's was at least talking. But man, I was not a fan, and I'm really hoping their car breaks down before the next show because I do not want to see them.
You're thinking back to the Moondogs and Harlem Nights, going, "Don't know what you got."
Right? It was terrible. It was god awful.
Well,
if Josh says he was wishing the Bruise Brothers were here, I'm gonna fall out of my chair.
Oh no! I would watch a 4-hour Steve and Bill Marino greatest hits.
Sounds like a fishing compilation, though. To be honest with you,
I would watch them fish before I would watch one.
It would have to be more entertaining than watching them wrestle or do a promo. That's
3-minute Bruise Brothers match. That is just eye cancer.
Jeez.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't like them.
We're gonna see if we can catch some smallmouth bass with this spinner bait over here, and then after we catch a few fish, we're gonna head back down to that Coliseum and wrestle them PG-13 fellers because they like to beat up on women and they don't throw their fish back when they catch them. They just throw them in there and let them die, and they don't even eat them.
Over under. How many times they fall out of the boat?
I ain't even got a live well on their boat. There's some punks. You understand punks?
We would have caught more fish, but Billy over here keeps falling out of the boat.
So another boat pulls up. Who the hell are you calling punks and says we can't fish?
Riverboat match next Monday, Mississippi River. I can't wait. Now, dude, I wish that I could say the Bruise Brothers was the least favorite part of the show, but I've got to say again, run in, DQ. It's just over and over and over, slowly driving me away from watching these shows. I mean, it is so, because it's so discouraging because they don't have to be this lazy booking this shit. I mean, I understand I don't run a wrestling company and stuff, but goddamn, there are people smarter than that in the back, and they know what the fuck to do. They're just not trying, because I've seen what happens when they try, and it is fucking great. It is great stuff all the time if they are really trying. But they're not trying.
It shows you how far removed they are from a fan's perspective, because, I think they all just we touched on this in the past, like, they don't care. Fans don't give a shit, or they don't remember, or people care. Like, fans do not want to see run in after run in after run in. Like, no matter what you think of these matches from the, booking perspective, the reason you watch this show is to see matches and to see somebody win and see somebody lose. You're not seeing it to, watching it to see a bunch of people run in. But I get both of your points. Least favorite part, the Marinos, definitely. All the run-ins, definitely. For me, my least favorite part was this Mr. Fantasy guy, just because, and I understand we've had a mass exodus of guys leaving the territory lately, and we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, but holy shit, dude. I mean, just look at this guy. Like, who's going to buy a ticket to see him? And I mean, if you're watching this, Mr. Fantasy, then my apologies, but I mean, just seriously though, it's like, put a mask on him, put him in the gimmick that would, Mr. Fantasy dressed like one of the Fabulous Ones, built like I don't know, man. We're not trying very hard between the booking and some of the people that we're throwing out here on TV. We're not trying. If you got to use the Marinos, good Lord, do I put them out there in the opening segment? I thought you want to start strong and, open with Brian and Jeff, and then shoehorn them in somewhere in the middle and hope nobody notices. But anyway, let's move to a more positive question. What's your favorite part of today's episode?
Just had a great name. The Marinos at the Marina would be killer for that fishing.
Marinos at the Marina. The Coliseum couldn't hold this action, Dave. You were right. Now they're going to be down there. Marinos at the Marina.
Using live bait.
There's going to be a bass fishing contest. Whoever catches the most fishes down there is going to be the new tag team champion.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Domino's. Richard B. and the Moondogs will be there.
Signing all the bait.
Let me tell you something, brother. You can't catch more fish than my Moondog. He sticks his head in the water and pulls them out.
Oh, my God.
So, favorite, I've got two favorites. One, Billy Joe Travis destroying people with that guitar and seeing him back. And I know it was kind of campy. I know it's Memphis, but I like seeing the big battle royal schmaz at the end, to kind of, everybody come out there to try to help, like, clear out the confusion. And then their just hatred took over and they started beating the guy down that they were going to wrestle, except for Eddie Marlin. He wasn't going to really do anything. But yeah, I like that.
Eddie Marlin tasted that blood. He had to get him some. He's like, look at all that ass whooping going on. He had to jump in.
Guys, I know what these people want to see. All right. Just be ready when I come in. You know what to do.
My favorite part of today's show was 2 doses of Sensational Sherri, man. Like, she has so much just fire in her interviews. Like, when Sherri's doing an interview, you can tell it's something different. You can just feel it. I mean, like, she is something that just, it's hard to contain in Memphis because she's a lot. And dude, when she got, and I hated the battle royal part of the show, mind you, but when she got up in there and she started beating Jerry's ass for real, like, those kicks, they looked legit. And when she hit him with the elbow, Jerry winced. I mean, it was like, oh shit, she caught him. It looked like she was beating his ass for real. She's making it look legit. Imagine that shit. Oh my God, what a concept. Like, everything Sherri does, I am all over it. She is just, I mean, one of the brightest spots of Memphis in the last few episodes for sure.
Multiple people messaged the Facebook page to say, holy shit, Sherri beat the hell out of Miss. Like, nobody has whipped up on Miss Texas, not even the men she's wrestled. The way that Sherri just, ragdolled her and owned her on TV, it was kind of surprising, honestly. It's like she got nothing but an ass whooping, then turned around and lost her belt on Monday night, and then got more of the same as she's struggling to keep her dress on during this whole big battle royal sequence. So, Miss Texas is going to have to redeem herself in this mixed tag team match, right? My favorite part of this show, even though I didn't even show any clips of it, I enjoyed Brian's promo here just because, it reminded us why it's too soon for him to turn babyface. He's still too good of a heel. Other than that, I don't know, none of the matches really did much for me because, like Josh said, they were inconsequential. They had freaking run-ins in every one of them. So what did any of it really matter? So for the final question, and I feel like I know the answer to this. I don't know. Maybe you'll surprise me. Would this TV show and that card they advertised inspired you to buy a ticket to Monday night's show?
I got to be somewhere that night. I can't go. My grades have been really bad, and I've got to buckle down and study. I'll find out what happened Saturday. I'm sure it's going to be a bunch of run-ins and DQs and no clean finishes anyways. So since they've burned me on that past couple weeks, I think I'm going to set this one out.
I'm going to have to be right there with you, Richard Lee. As much as I want to see Sherri and everything, Uncle Danny's into and all that, I'm going to have to let them tell it. I can't be there and waste my money after all those DQs. It's not looking good.
I feel like, given that his opponent's Mr. Fantasy, that if any of Doug's friends like, hey man, we're going to come see you Monday night. Hey, maybe next week. Y'all just wait and come next week, man. Don't come. You don't want to come this Monday night. I think the weather's going to be bad. I asked Dave Brown, and he was pretty sure it's going to be a monsoon or a hurricane. He could not have been looking forward to this match on Monday night. So, not surprised at that answer. I would not be motivated to see this show either. Usually, I can go, well, I'd like to see this match and this match, but maybe not that match. Other than Jarrett and Billy Travis against Rex King and Steve Dahl, there's really not another match on this show that I would really be fired up about. In theory, the mixed tag match could be fun, but probably not. So, April 26, 1993, drawing 850 people at the Coliseum. Now, last week we drew, 1,800, I think it was, for Savage and Lawler in a steel cage. We go down almost 1,000 people the following week.
Jeez.
So this is fun, seeing as how both of their opponents either no-showed, perhaps one of them got fired, I can only hope. In the opening match, Nightmare Danny Davis pinned the King of Rock and Roll, Doug Gilbert. So apparently Mr. Fantasy's already gone. I don't know, but he was not there Monday night. And Danny Davis's opponent was supposed to be
Axel Rotten.
Rotten, who is now 3 for 3 on no-showing. He had 2 matches against Jeff Jarrett he was booked for that he no-showed, and now he's no-showed another match against Uncle Danny. So I'm sure Doug Gilbert left there happy that he got to work with Danny Davis and didn't have to deal with Mr. Fantasy, and I'm sure Danny probably was happier working with Doug Gilbert than he would Axel Rotten. So that's how the show kicked off. Match number 2, PG-13 defeated the Young Stallions, Billy and Steve Marino. Wild Stallions, Bill and Ted. Although I think it would be a better name for them. Honestly. Yeah, they don't look that young.
The Lone Rangers.
Oh, that would be perfect. We may just take to calling them that anyway. So since we managed to lose a match there, since both Danny Davis and Doug Gilbert's opponents, neither one were there, we go from, although you think they would have done this backwards, PG-13 defeat the Marinos in a tag match. Then in the third match, Wolfie D beats Steve Marino in a single match. So we don't have a lot of faith in Marinos because they lost both outings here on their first Monday night card at the Coliseum. Match number 4, Coco Beware defeated Brian Christopher via disqualification. Surprise, surprise. But I bet he wore that booty out as he promised.
Maybe when I got disqualified.
Could be.
Come on, booty is worn out now, Coco.
You're knocking at his back door, Coco. Come on now.
That's ridiculous.
75th match. USWA Tag Team title match. Jeff Jarrett and Billy Joe Travis defeated the tag team champions Simply Divine, Rex King, and Steve Dahl by disqualification. Of course they did. Then, in the main event that the Coliseum couldn't contain, Jerry the King Lawler and Miss Texas defeated Scotty Flamingo and Sherri Martel, the USWA Ladies Champion, in a barn burner, I'm sure.
Bye.
No, this was apparently, I don't know who pinned who here. It doesn't specify, but it does not quantify it by saying there's a DQ. So I'm sure Lawler pinned Scotty probably, or Miss Texas probably pinned Scotty, but I'm sure neither one of them pinned Sherri. So
yeah,
good stuff.
I don't think any of them could pin Sherri.
Not if she didn't want them to. That's for sure. We got a couple of bonus results here just for fun. There was the Observer had a spot show for Covington, Tennessee on April the 30th. So just to give you an idea of what random spot show results had, you saw the Rock and Roll Phantom defeated Jeff Gaylord. Billy Travis defeated Ron McClarity. Miss Texas defeated Brandy Wine. Danny Davis and the Master of Terra defeated a PG-13, and in the main event, Jerry the King Lawler defended the unified title successfully against Brian Christopher. So there you go.
And damn hot streak.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm sure your grandma would say it's just because there was no cameras around.
She said, I didn't see it.
I know proof.
He's allergic to that red light.
I bet they wiped that paint off. He's one of those Marino fellas.
He's the third Marino, bro.
Yeah.
Eddie Marino. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't work. Sure it does, but not the way I intended.
That's a Hall of Fame name right there. Might not win any Super Bowls, but what would you expect out of Danny Davis Marino?
even if that's their real name, why would you use that name and then do a cowboy gimmick? Like, well, all right, folks. This wasn't a stellar episode of USWA, but we're gonna be positive. We're gonna keep our hopes up that we're gonna get things back on track here. And the Harlem Nights are gone. The Moondogs are gone. Spot's working out his notice, but he's not going to be around much longer. And from what I can tell, the Marinos, they're going to stick around. Mr. Fantasy was a one and done, but I think the Marinos are going to hang in there for a little bit. So we'll see if things improve. We'll see if we get a promo from them next week. And we'll see who the next surprise WWF wrestler is that shows up here in town. Anything before we say farewell, guys?
No, I think we did it.
Hope it's better next week.
any podcast you'd like anybody to listen to, or any?
Nope.
We're not exceptionally proud of this week's episode. Just go on and bypass.
Oh man, well yeah. If you didn't get enough grandma talk, I go and I tell a ball story about my grandpa on the
long ball milk.
So you can check out P3 Radio. It's the logo right here if you look it up on iTunes, and we've been getting a few more hits since we've been in this show. So some people are listening. They might not be telling us, but some people are listening.
Hey,
and enjoying.
There's been a few people that have messaged me and said, "Hey, man, I'm enjoying Josh and Richard on the show. I went and looked up P3 Radio, and it's moved into their rotation of podcasts to listen to." So
that's awesome. Thank you guys. If you're listening to our show, we can't thank you enough that you would want to listen to our hour-long dick jokes every week, and we appreciate it. We like to know we have somebody listening and we have an audience. So thank you guys.
So next week, as you're sitting through the next Marinos match, and you're like, "Why the fuck are we doing this for Gene?" Then just be like, "Well, we're getting a couple of listeners here and there, or something anyway." All right, folks. Thank you for checking out the show, and we will see you next week. And hang around for just a second, as we're gonna let these guys go, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about where you can go get some merch. You can check out the Doug Gilbert podcast and all kinds of fun stuff. Listen to this. Hey, folks, before we get out of here, I'd just like to take a moment to tell you we appreciate you checking out the podcast. And if you would, do us a favor, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you're listening to this right now, wherever you're watching it. If you'll just take a moment to either subscribe, to rate, and review, let us know what you think. We hope you're liking it. But even if you're not, let us know what you would like to see changed, and we will take that in consideration as we move forward. So we really appreciate any feedback we can get. Also, we just want to say how proud we are to be a part of the WrestleCopia brand of wrestling podcast. Ray Russell brings you something for everyone over at WrestleCopia.com. Check out all the great wrestling podcasts available over there right now. And for all things related to the Retro Wrestling Review Podcast, you can go to USWAPodcast.com and you can find links to everything we have there, our Facebook, our Twitter /X, our TikTok, our Instagram, our merch store. That's right. We've got shirts, we've got hats, we've got phone cases, we've got all kinds of great stuff. And it's all right there at our store. And you can find a link to it at USWAPodcast.com. There's a link to the YouTube channel we're associated with, the Retro Wrestling Archive. You can find all that there. And if you have questions for us, if you saw something on the show that you have a question about or a comment about, if you've got some info to answer a question we have, or you had a question you want us to read on the air, if you want to work out an ad swap, if you want to have any kind of communication with us, you can go and send an email to USWApodcast@outlook.com, and I will get back to you just as quickly as humanly possible. And if you're a fan of Dangerous Conversations with Doug Gilbert, and if you've heard it, I know you are, check out DougGilbertPodcast.com for all things related to Doug's podcast. You can find links to our Facebook page for the show, our Twitter. You can find links to Doug's social media, his Twitter, his Facebook. All that's available there, plus a link to the YouTube channel. And if you have a question for Doug you would like for me to ask him on the air, you can send that question to DougGilbertPodcast@outlook.com, and we will get it added, and it will get answered in a future episode just as quickly as we can work it in. So we appreciate you listening. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you here next week for more